What's up, gang? We are officially at the halfway point of the 100 Scariest Horror Movie Moments, my legacy series to Bravo TV's 100 Scariest Movie Moments. But we are doing all of the horror movies from 2000 to 2025. I'm so excited. We are officially starting from 50, and all we're going to is one. Get ready, get your snacks. We're going down memory lane. Let's go! Bam! We're starting off at number 50 with Lake Mungo, released in 2008 and directed by Joel Anderson, starring Talia Zucker, Rosie Traynor, and David Pledger. Lake Mungo is the movie that whispers instead of screams, and somehow that's 10 times scarier. It's filmed like a true crime documentary, so your brain is like, this could be real. The story follows a grieving family over their daughter Alice, who drowned during a trip with friends. But the haunting doesn't start with ghosts, it starts with secrets. As they dig into Alice's life, they uncover a version of her they never knew. The scariest moment? The cell phone footage at the lake. You're already on edge from the slow build, and then pause, zoom. You see her in the distance, and your stomach drops into hell. Because it isn't just a creepy reveal. It confirms that she knew she was going to die. Lake Mungo is dread in its purest form. No jumps, no tricks, just the horrifying truth that sometimes the scariest thing waiting for you is yourself. Number 49 is The Skeleton Key, released in 2005. Directed by Ian Softly, and starring Kate Hudson, Jenna Rollins, and Peter Sarsgaard. The Skeleton Key is one of those horror movies that sneaks up on you. You think it's a mystery, maybe a thriller, and the ending hits like a hoodoo brick to the face. Set in the Louisiana Bayou, we follow Caroline, a hospice nurse caring for an elderly stroke victim, in a creepy old plantation house full of locked doors and hidden secrets. She thinks she's saving a helpless old couple, but in this movie, belief is the weapon. The scariest moment? When Caroline learns exactly what the mirror spell does, and that she's already fallen for it. Watching her scream, "I don't believe," as the spell takes hold anyway, that's the horror. Because the Skeleton Key reminds us, magic doesn't care whether you believe, it cares whether you fear. Skeleton Key. The moral of the story is, mind your damn business, and you gonna be fine. The Exorcism of Emily Rose came out in 2005 and was directed by Scott Derrickson and stars Jennifer Carpenter, Laura Linney, and Tom Wilkinson. The Exorcism of Emily Rose is a rare horror movie that blends the supernatural with a courtroom drama, and somehow makes both scary as hell. It's based on the real case of Annalise Michael, which already puts you on an edge before anything even happens. Jennifer Carpenter deserves a Lifetime Horror Award for this one. No CGI, no wires. She did those contortions herself, and that makes everything feel too real. The scariest moment? 3 a.m., the witching hour. When Emily is ripped out of sleep and her body bends in shapes that should not be possible. Her screams echo through the dorm. And you're like, not college housing charging $900 a month for demons too. What makes it hit different is the uncertainty. Was she possessed or suffering from a medical crisis? The film forces you to sit with the terrifying truth that sometimes there isn't a clear answer, and both possibilities are horrifying. The Ruins came out in 2008, and and was directed by Carter Smith and stars Jenna Malone, Shawn Ashmore, and Jonathan Tucker. The Ruins proves that sometimes the scariest thing in a horror movie is Mother Nature clocking in for work. A group of American tourists head to a Mayan ruin, despite multiple red flags, and suddenly they're trapped on an ancient temple, where the plants are the predators. And baby, these vines have hands and attitude. The scariest moment? When they're searching for the cell phone noise deep inside the well, only to find out it's the vines. It's extra messed up when you realize this, because you realize how hopeless the situation is. The vines are mocking them, and now you're starting to wonder, will they escape? Evil Dead Rise came out in 2023 and was directed by Lee Cronin and starred Alyssa Sutherland and Lily Sullivan. Evil Dead Rise said, "What if we took the cabin out of the woods and placed the Deadites in your apartment building?" And honestly, that was kind of rude. This movie is pure chaos once the Book of the Dead opens. The family dynamic makes every scare hit harder, because nobody wants to see the mom go full demon cannibal. The scariest moment? You already know the line.
Mommy's with the maggots now.
When Ellie is trapped outside the door, crawling on the walls, smiling that terrifying smile through the peephole, chef's kiss nightmare fuel. Evil Dead Rise works because it's relentless. The gore doesn't stop. The tension doesn't stop. And every time you think the family has a chance, the Deadites are like, no. If the original films made you scared of forests, this one said, now be scared of home. Number 45 is Together, released in 2025. Directed by Michael Shanks and stars Alison Brie and Dave Franco. Together is that movie where you think you're about to watch a quirky relationship drama, and then it grips you by the throat and says, you should have broken up. Dave Franco and Alison Brie, who are married in real life, said, let's traumatize the audience together. The tension is relentless. They argue, they cling to each other, they spiral, and every scene pulls you deeper into a nightmare version of dependency and anxiety. The scariest moment? The first nightmare Tim has. It's the scene that warns you, this is not going to be a good time. The breathing, the visuals, the fear that claws into his chest. It lingers long after, because you instantly understand. The real horror here is that love can turn into a trap, and sometimes the monster you're running from is the person you can't let go of. Together's great. Should it have been higher? I don't know, we can argue about that. It was very difficult making this list. Together's great. I am still freaked out by that movie. That movie made me want to stay single. I'm single right now at the time of this recording. And I think I might want to stay single because when I think of Together, I just, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Like, no. Y'all done took codependency too far. Number 44 is Barbarian, released in 2022. Directed by Zach Cregger and stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. Barbarian is the exact movie that horror fans mean when we say, stop being polite, start being alive. Tess shows up to her Airbnb, finds a random man already staying there, and makes the mistake every woman has made at least once. She tries not to seem rude about being scared. The movie cooks tension so well you could slice it, and Bill Skarsgård being involved automatically makes you suspicious because Pennywise. But once she goes downstairs, bestie, no. The scariest moment? When Tess explores that hidden hallway and sees the camera, plus the dirty mattress, plus the bloody handprint. And then the mother appears, screaming, sprinting, bare feet slapping across concrete like a nightmare you can't wake up from. Barbarian is shocking, unhinged, and hilarious in a I can't believe that just happened way. And it proves that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones society forces to become monsters. Number 43 is 30 Days of Night, released in 2007, and directed by David Slade and starring Josh Hartnett, Melissa George, and Danny Huston. 30 Days of Night is one of those films that said, what if vampires weren't sexy? What if they were ancient killing machines? We're in an isolated Alaskan town, entering a month-long darkness, and these vampires show up like they've been waiting for this moment. They hunt with the cold precision of sharks, and the humans are food. The scariest moment comes when the survivors see a woman being used as bait. She's in the middle of the street, crying out, broken, and begging for help. The head vampire, Danny Huston, leans in as she yells, or cries, "Please God," and then leans in with that guttural, animal voice and says that bone-chilling line.
Please, God, please.
No God.
That line hits like a punch to the soul. The vampires in 30 Days of Night don't just kill. They want you to know hope doesn't live here anymore. It's chilling, violent, bloody, and bleak in the best horror way. Darkness always wins. Evil Dead was released in 2013 and is number 42 on our list for a very good reason. Directed by Fede Alvarez and starring Jane Levy, Shiloh Fernandez, and Lou Taylor Pucci. Evil Dead said, "You want gore? I'll show you gore." This remake doesn't just honor Sam Raimi's legacy, it grabs it by the throat and drenches it in blood. The deadheads here aren't silly, they are vicious. The scariest moment for me happens early, when Natalie goes into the basement after hearing screams and comes face to face with Demon Mia. The voice, the taunting, the growling, it's pure evil. Then she gets attacked, chewed up, and her arm starts changing. And you realize, this movie isn't playing any games. This isn't survival, this is escape hell. Evil Dead from 2013 works because it's relentless, no pauses, no mercy, just terror. It made an entire generation terrified of creepy books and scary basements. Number 41 is The Lighthouse, released in 2019, directed by Robert Eggers and starring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. The Lighthouse is one of those movies where, if you're not a cinema geek, you might finish it like, what the hell did I just watch? And if you are a cinema geek, you finish it like, magnificent, tortured, a seafood opus. Two lighthouse keepers descend into madness on a lonely island. And woo! Robert Eggers turns isolation into pure nightmare fuel. The scariest moment hits when Winslow finally sees what's in the light, and Robert Pattinson's screams are straight from a psychotic break. The sound, the imagery, the cosmic dread. It's Lovecraftian horror without ever naming the monster. What makes it terrifying isn't gore, it's the unraveling of the human mind. The Lighthouse is proof that the scariest horrors are internal, and sometimes the real monster looks exactly like you after 3 days without sleep. Well, there you have it. That was 10 more of the scariest horror movie moments. This has been episode 6. I'm so excited to continue to get closer to number 1, but we are going to continue in episode 7. So I will see you next time. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and remember to stay spooky. Have a great day, y'all.